Here we are given a rational expression in terms of a problem-solving question. So in order to set up this type of question, which is I relate it to a distance, speed, time problem, is we want to set up a chart. So it says a hydrofoil travels 120 kilometers an hour in the same time it takes a boat to travel 80 kilometers. The hydrofoil is 10 kilometers faster than the boat. Find the speed of the hydrofoil and the speed of the boat in kilometers per hour. So what we want to do is we want to set up a distance, speed, time chart. And the two pieces of information we're considering in this question is the hydrofoil and the boat. So now I want to take pieces from my question and substitute it into this chart. So from my question, it tells me that the hydrofoil traveled 120 kilometers, so that's that distance. The boat traveled 80 kilometers, so that's that distance. And then I'm going to fill in the speed in relationship to what it says in the question. It tells me that the hydrofoil is 10 kilometers faster than the boat. So I don't know anything about the boat's time, so I'm going to leave that as x. And then the hydrofoil is 10 kilometers faster, so this is going to be an x plus 10. So now we want to fill in this last time area in relationship to these two things. Okay, so thinking about how did these three things relate to each other? Well, if you've never seen this triangle before, to find time, we take the distance divided by the speed. So here we're going to fill in the time by taking the hydrofoil's distance, which is 120, and divide it by its speed, which is x plus 10. And then we're going to do the same thing with the boat. We're going to take its distance, which is 80, and divide that by x. So now I need to set up a rational equation. Well, that rational equation comes from the last information that I filled in from the chart, which is this. And then I want to go back to the question and see what it says about the time of the hydrofoil and boat. So if I go back to the question, it says the hydrofoil travels 120 kilometers in the same time it takes the boat to travel 80 kilometers. So in the same time would mean that the hydrofoil's time would be equal to the boat's time. So that is my equation. So I'm going to take the hydrofoil boat time and I'm going to make it equal to my boat's time. And so what I've done now is I've created a rational equation. So how do we solve this rational equation? Well, we need a lowest common denominator, which would be x over x times x plus 10. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by x times an x plus 10. These are going to cancel, and I'm just left with 120x equals, we're going to multiply this by an x times an x plus 10. My x's will cancel, and I'm left with 80 times an x plus 10. So now to solve this linear equation, we're going to expand the 80 through our brackets. And then we're going to move our x's to one side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract 80 from both sides, which would leave me with 40x on the left side, 800 on my right. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 40, which leaves me with 20. So what does this represent? Well, going back to my chart, x represents the speed of the boat. Therefore, this is the speed of the boat. And then we need to also find the speed of the hydrofoil. So going back to the question, the hydrofoil is x plus 10, so I'm going to add 10 kilometers to the 20. And so the hydrofoil was traveling at 30 kilometers an hour. And that is how you solve a distance, speed, time problem.